to me, it's a very human and relatable story. I love taking this larger, more fantastical idea of a man who is invisible and terrorizing this woman, something that is seemingly impossible and something that is, either sci-fi or horror, whatever it is, and marrying that with an incredibly human story of a woman who is trying to recover who she was and trying to find her voice and trying to speak out about something and not be judged for it or hit for it, whether literally or metaphorically. And I think that, to me, that the marriage of those two in this film is what I love about it and what I'm proud of. I am kind of attracted to characters that are believe in something against all odds, and Cecilia, that thing in her that just won't give up on the idea that this is true and she is going to find him and she's going to prove that it's true, I just think is really compelling and inspiring. There's James, played by Aldous Hodge, and he is an old friend. He's a police officer. She's who she goes to when she escapes Adrian and the relationship in Adrian's house. And he kind of takes her in. And it's all arranged. Her sister picks her up, played by Harriet Dyer, and she takes her to James's house. Sydney is there, who's played by Storm Reed. And that is a safe space for her. That is a place that she is able to hopefully be recovering from this abusive relationship. And unfortunately, it ends up becoming a nightmare in itself. She works in architecture. She has a degree. She's successful, ambitious, loves what she does. She's a person who, studied in Paris, and she actually had a life and a personality of her own. Once she gets into the relationship with Adrian, that is slowly chipped away at, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, until she doesn't know who she is anymore. She is only what he wants her to be. Whether it's the way that she looks or the way that she talks, the way that she acts, whatever it is, she is purely there to be of service to him. And he kind of cuts her off from everybody, and she's alone. And it's very, very common in abusive relationships or toxic relationships. And so coming out of that, she's a very different person. She's very damaged and fragile and pretty broken and terrified. And she starts out that way, and then it just kind of gets worse. I mean, Leigh and I are tremendous fans of this genre. We both love it and love to be scared and love that feeling, and we wanted to do justice to that. I always kind of wanted to do a really good horror film, a really good scary movie. And this was the perfect one because it actually had like a very interesting story that I was really attracted to. But I remember saying to each other on our first phone call, we were like, the number one thing is this has to be scary. One of the things Leigh wanted to do, which I loved, was he put in all the little horror tropes. So, when the medicine cabinet opens and then it closes and you expect somebody to be back there. We did all of that, except there's nobody there. Like, did the same thing with the refrigerator door. Everything, then put all these little tricks in, but it doesn't actually happen. But building that suspense was really, really fun. We did the classic, like, walking down the hallway scene, one shot, where the camera comes around and you've seen the door closed previously, and when the camera comes around, now the door's open. Like, that kind of stuff was so much fun to do. Just loud noises, things like that, like turning on a light in a dark room and revealing that shape in the corner is actually a coat rack. All that stuff that you see in horror movies was so fun to actually just be a part of.